Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses. During this hearing, I've heard my colleagues on both sides of the aisle express to everyone here how important food safety is to the health of all Americans and how critical the FDA is in promoting a healthy food system. And I agree. I absolutely agree. The work the FDA does is essential to public health, and that is why it is critical that we ensure that the agency has the proper tools to do its work. And while many of the bills that we're discussing today are important for ensuring that the FDA is able to protect the safety of our food system, I find it not only ironic but distressing to be discussing the importance of the FDA while the Trump administration has spent the last year cutting staff at FDA that does this work. And this Congress has done nothing to prevent it. You know, once again, I feel like a broken record, but in the past year, the FDA has lost more than 4,000 employees between the Trump administration's layoffs and other resignations caused by the actions of the administration. And many of the employees who were fired or who resigned were staff who were responsible for overseeing food safety, including the Deputy Commissioner for Human Foods, James Jones, who resigned because of mass layoffs at the FDA. So the experts have warned us that these chaotic staffing cuts are a direct threat to the safety of our food system. And we should have bipartisan agreement on that too. Everybody in here is talking about how important it is that we make sure the system works. Well, the system doesn't work if you take out all of the people who do the work. And so we cannot have a safe and healthy food system if there isn't enough staff at FDA to ensure that the agency can perform its essential function of regulating our food supply. And so while many of these bills are important, I am concerned that even if we pass them, even if they become law, the programs won't be executed because of the drastic staffing cuts at FDA. So once again, we're hearing a lot in this hearing about making America healthy again, but I don't see how firing the people responsible for ensuring that our food is safe makes Americans healthier. So instead, I think that we really need to focus on what this Congress can do to check the actions of the administration that are undermining food safety and the health of all Americans. And I want to direct a couple of questions to you, Mr. Faber, about, can you just talk about how the staffing cuts at FDA have impacted the FDA's ability to regulate our food?
Yeah, before January 20th of last year, the FDA was not reviewing new food chemicals, was not reviewing the chemicals we're already eating. And now, since we've laid off 20% of the workforce, there are even fewer people to respond to petitions to ban chemicals linked to cancer. So it's no wonder that 3 states, West Virginia, Arkansas, and California, have stepped forward to ban 11 chemicals that are known hazards to our health that have been banned elsewhere, and as we've talked about earlier, have already been removed from the wholesome pantry brands that Wakefern and Mr. Kalillo's grocery store offer. We know that companies can remove those chemicals without increasing food prices because they do so in all the other countries, including Canada, where they sell the nearly identical foods we love, just without the chemicals we hate. So it's really important that the FDA has the resources to do their job. That is not the case today. Until then, it's really important that we preserve the power of states to protect us from these dangerous chemicals.
Thank you so much, Mr. Faber. And I want to follow up on that with another point, which is, while today's hearing is focused on the FDA's work in food regulation, I have also been concerned about reports that have come up that we've heard that the FDA, not only the number of staff, but the integrity of the staff and the work that they're doing be protected as well. And I know that I'm hearing about folks at FDA facing political pressure for drug approvals, and I think we on this committee need to be really attuned to that. That is absolutely unacceptable. And so we need to make sure that that is eliminated. With the few seconds I have left, I'm not going to ask a new question, but I do want to say again, I'm so glad we're having this hearing on food safety, but another area of safety that's largely overlooked is personal care items and cosmetics,
Yes.
which most people use every day and assume are safe. And reports have shown that many of these products contain hazardous chemicals that are harmful to our health. And to date, the FDA has only banned or restricted 11 of these hazardous chemicals. So this Congress and the two previous Congresses, I have worked with Congresswoman Schakowsky and introduced the Toxic Free Beauty Act to expand the list of prohibited chemicals in personal care items and cosmetics. Many of them are already banned in some states and in other countries because of the potential harm, but the FDA hasn't been able to keep pace with those countries or those states. And it is my hope, Mr. Chairman, that we can have a legislative hearing and focus on the safety of personal care items and cosmetics included in the Toxic Free Beauty Act and expand this conversation to talk about not only what we put in our bodies, but what we put on our bodies. Thank you, and I yield back.